Hello, I am a busy boy, and I have seen these free movies for a while now, but I don't have that much to say about them, and so I'm just gonna do this so I can talk about the things I do have things to say about, and also do the things I'm busy with. Movie number 1 is Luca. This is the new Disney Pixar movie about gay Italian children. I can't believe they made an Orange Spark movie. Nice to know that me and Ethan from the Double Agent are officially canon in the Pixar universe. This movie's boring. I remember nothing about it. I literally could not tell you what happened in like a good chunk of this movie. I could tell you the basic plot. I could tell you a lot of things that happen. The film's not that interesting. It's not bad. It's okay. There are moments where it's entertaining and endearing and you're interested, and then there's moments where it's boring and irritating and derivative. I think what a lot of people are complaining about, who like Luca, a lot of people are like, oh, you just don't like that it's simple. Movies can be simple. Of course movies can be simple. Luca wants to have it both ways. The villains in this movie are probably one of the worst parts. One of them is just the guy from Ratatouille, but bad. Much worse villain in this movie. The other is Sacha Baron Cohen even a villain? He's there for like a minute. The voice acting is so distracting in this movie because it's all normal American accents. And then, like, a couple lines every scene, they'll randomly put a full Italian accent on. I don't know why they wanted to just one, please. I don't understand. The voice acting was a mixed bag. The kids, the adults, it depends. Some of them get better as the movie goes on, some of them get worse. It's something. I think the thing that does bug me about this movie is I really, really, really hate the whole, this is a better Studio Ghibli movie than most Studio Ghibli movies. Shut up. The thing about the comparison, I don't understand it. The only Ghibli movie somewhere near this is Ponyo. And Ponyo was very much inspired by The Little Mermaid, which Luca feels very similar to in a lot of ways as well. It's basically what would happen if you mixed The Little Mermaid and Call Me By Your Name, and also took out most of the interesting things. Some of the characters were fun, there was some occasional good comedy. The movie looks fine. Yeah. Not very interesting. I'm not gonna recommend it. I'm not gonna recommend against it. It is probably the most mediocre thing Pixar's ever made that I've seen. 5 out of 10. It's closer to a 6 than a 4, but I'm giving it a 5. I also saw the Forever Purge. Fair warning, by the way, none of the movies I'm reviewing in this video are good movies. The Forever Purge is the latest installment in the Purge franchise, which is a franchise that I have, not on YouTube to my knowledge, but before now I have deemed the worst film franchise of all time. There's no good ones up until now. The best one was like a 2 out of 10. I think they're awful movies. And what bugs me the most about them is they have this fun, interesting concept that you could do a lot with, and they don't. But this new one, the Forever Purge, it's bad, but here's the thing. A lot of people are calling it the worst one, and to those people I want to know what you're going into this expecting. The Forever Purge is probably the best because it takes itself the least seriously. It doesn't feel like a horror movie at all. The worst moments for me I found were a lot of the moments where they were trying to be a horror movie. The opening scene with the false jump scare is atrocious. But a lot of this film is a really stupid popcorn movie it's like a theme park ride. It feels like the haunted house ghost train at the fun fair, you know? There's a lot of one-takes in this movie, and they're used very well, but there are scenes in particular. There's a scene where two of the characters are going through an abandoned cinema, and it's literally like an abandoned haunted house ride at a fun fair. That's all I could think. I was like, wow, this is gonna be great for people when they put it into Universal Horror Nights. It's better acted than most Purge movies. It's the first Purge movie where I've liked it, like, on a technical level. There's impressive usage of invisible cuts in this movie. Like, you can tell, like, you're like, okay, I think they put one there, but the way they disguised it was pretty nice. There's a lot of... The cinematography flows very nicely in this movie. I think there's some good one-takes. Yeah, there's some good angling choices. They did a competent job, you know? They actually put the effort in. The characters were not the worst thing ever this time, as well. I think what does bring this movie down a lot is that it sucks. The dialogue's bad. The plot... Like, a lot of the entertaining aspects of it, like, it is this dumb kind of action, kind of thriller movie. It feels like an apocalypse movie, and it's bizarre and dumb. And there's some cool ideas in here. I think it is the most creative Purge movie by a landslide. It's the most held back in some areas, and I really respect it. It's got the best of a lot of things in this franchise. It's not particularly well edited at moments. I think a lot of the music is overbearing. The end credit song slaps.
This is not a test, this is what you made me do. Got me against the wall and you wanna blame me too?
I think it's dumb and bad in a lot of ways, largely because of the script. And the first third is your usual Purge nonsense. It's very bad. There's one scene, shout out to the scene where one of the actors delivers their lines exactly like Derek Savage in a Cool Cat movie.
The purge is over!
No. This is the Forever Purge. It's never stopping.
Okay, buddy. Have fun now. See you later.
Bye-bye! Yeah, I had a good time. 4 out of 10. Check it out. It was more entertaining than Luca. And we're gonna round this out with Escape Room 2 Electric Boogaloo.
So that's it? What, we some kind of...
Tournament of Champions?
I was debating doing a big video for this one like I did with the first movie. Because the first movie... Oh, the first movie is dumb. The first movie is one of those really funny, bad, stupid horror movies. And the second one doubles down. It's worse. It's much worse. It's much stupider. Nothing makes sense. They want to be the Saw franchise very badly, but they don't have the guts. Literally, there's no gore. It's... One of the death knells of this movie is that there's no gore. Genuinely, I think this would be better if you spilled some guts, you know? That's... Like, come on. Because there is a horror franchise market now. Like, there's nothing else taking up space. Saw just returned, but with Escape Room and what happens in this movie, they clearly wanted to make a sequel. And this was, like, they couldn't have predicted Saw returning. Like, Scream's return mid this movie. The only competition they somewhat had is Halloween's return. And, like, those movies, we know when they're all coming out, we know when they're done with those. Like, there's nothing taking up that spot. Paranormal Activity's gone. We're not getting Freddy's, we're not getting Jason's. Saw's back, I guess. I don't know. But... Escape Room is very clever for that, in that it's trying to fill that void. I guess The Conjuring fills that void for people now. But that's not like a slash... that doesn't fit the Saw void for people. Whatever. But the issue is they aren't willing to commit. They aren't willing to bring the frills, they aren't bringing in anything. This is just... As a piece of... If we're looking at it unironically at a piece of horror franchise cinema, trying to get those, teens to buy tickets and thrill them and chill them. This is lackluster. This is held back. This is nothing. This is lame. It doesn't deliver in any of the ways you want a movie like this to deliver. Unless you're me and you love dumb bad things, and then this movie's perfect. Dear God, the plot of this movie. Bravo! I really thought, I was not sure how they could make it dumber. And then they did. Basically, Mino's escape rooms are omnipotent gods. It is like a Saw movie. It's like they know everything that's going to happen and they just predict. But in this, it's more ridiculous. I would argue that what happens and what Minos are supposedly predicting is more ridiculous than anything from the Saw movies. The world building in this makes no sense. It is... The acting's bad. All of the actors from the first movie are worse in this one. No one's convincing. The film has ideas that could work, and I think this kills me, right? There's one character in this movie who's like, oh, I can't feel physical pain. Just imagine what they put in place for me when I was in my first set of these, and I was just thinking, okay, that sounds more interesting. I would enjoy that movie more. Like, obviously I enjoyed this movie because it's stupid and dumb, but like, for what these movies are going for, that sounds better. There's a priest character, and their test was like, oh, can the faith of God lead them? And I was like, okay, this is also more interesting than this Tournament of Champions idea. Especially with where this movie ends up towards the end. The last, like, 15-20 minutes of this movie, they really give up. They simultaneously try and be so smart with it, but don't know how. The things revealed towards the end of this movie are so bad that they make the first movie worse. I also find it really funny, this movie does not try. The opening scene of this film is a montage of the last movie. You know, because people coming to Escape Room 2 for the plot didn't see the first one. It feels like a cop-out because with these kinds of horror franchise thingies, and with what they're trying to imitate, you need the iconic horror opening scene. That's what the Saw franchise had. That's what all of these horror franchises thrive off of in the beginning. They're setting the tone. They're getting you invested. They're getting you dragged into the universe of the film. There's usually some sort of foreboding or like foreshadowing or even just a full-on like murder at the opening of the film. And Escape Room decides, we're going to spook you with the first movie. Remember how bad that one was? Yeah. It feels like they're making a movie to appeal to the lowest common denominator of cinema goers. The usage of ADR in this movie is insulting. You thought the first movie was bad for it? It's worse. It's worse. I am taken aback by how much of a failure this film is. The editing's not good. None of the rooms are interesting either. Like, at least the first movie had the upside down room too. That was a nice idea. That looked kind of cool. This movie has like one nice shot where I was like, oh, that's a nice looking shot. Every room looks bad. Every trap is dull. There's a lot of things where all I was thinking was, okay, this seems easy. There is one room where the door is open the whole time. They have to just get across, but if they step on the wrong spot, there's lasers, so they have to find all these things, right, to try and find the path. And all I was thinking was, okay, go across the counter, and when they go across the counter, a thing comes up so they can't go back over. Go across the counter, go to the other end of the counter that's not got that, and jump to the stairs. You can make that jump. None of the characters are likable. They're all annoying. They're not as they're not as huge assholes as they were in the first movie. I will give the movie that. They're less unlikable in that way. They're just irritating in this movie. You don't like them. You don't root for them. They're stupid. Nothing is scary, nothing is tense, nothing is interesting. It is only entertaining if you like bad things. If you're like me, and you like to watch bad things and laugh at them, and you want to see some weird, dumb stuff that makes no sense, watch this movie. You'll have a great time. But if you're looking for what this movie's trying to actually be, and you want to see it done successfully, no. 1 out of 10. There was a shot I liked at one point, I guess. So yeah, that's the end of this video. Like, share, subscribe. Check out my music available on all streaming services. I'm bad at outros, and I'll see you whatever I do next.